Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Richard from English for Positive Change. If you haven't already, there it is. Please subscribe for more tips, insights, motivation and inspiration for you and your English teaching career. So today I'm just going to briefly talk about 3 things that I see teachers doing that they don't need to do and that really are draining their energy and making their lives more difficult. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do starting today to improve your quality of life as a teacher and also your students' experience in the class. So the first thing, and I've seen this in many observations of very good teachers, but the first thing that I see teachers doing, which is unnecessary, is doing too many activities or too many language points in one lesson. Okay, so for example, in a 1-hour lesson, I've seen teachers teaching 3 or 4 different language points. The pace of the class is very dynamic and it's all very exciting and lots of change of dynamics and activities, but as an observer, I think the experience for the students can be a bit overwhelming and it's just not necessary. So my first tip is less is more. Okay, for effective teaching, less is more. So instead of 3 or 4 language points or target language points for one lesson, I would say halve it, so to 2, and maybe even just do 1 in that time. So the effect for you, the result for you, less planning. I don't mean do less activities, but for example, if we take the language of comparatives, then you could start off by saying, okay, mini activities. Can you make a list of 7 animals? 7 animals that everybody knows. Write them down. Okay, compare your list. Rabbit, elephant, giraffe, etc. Okay, now with a partner, can you choose 2 and compare them? Okay, now can you tell me if there's a big difference or a small difference? Changing the dynamic, but with the same target language, your life will get easier. Number 2, the next thing that teachers do, which doesn't help them, is sometimes they never move students around in a face-to-face class, or they never pair them up with different partners in an online class. All right, I've seen hour-long lessons, 1.5-hour-long lessons, face-to-face, where the students are sat in like the horseshoe, that traditional horseshoe, maybe 14 students, and from the first minute to the last minute, little Jose has been sat next to poor old Sarah for the whole time. 1, that's boring. Okay, if I'm in a class, or if you're in a class, don't you want to meet other people sometimes? Not everybody, but wouldn't it be nice to go over there and speak to George, or find out a little bit more about Andrew? Okay, the worst name that I could have thought of. It's the most English sounding name that came into my head. So students want to mingle. The effect on the class is that with a little bit more movement, I know it's been difficult with COVID, I understand that, but where possible, moving students around brings them together, creates a more relaxed atmosphere, which is conducive to language learning. It builds the rapport. The more people you get to know, the more likely you are to open up. And we know that languages can be something that's, it's not easy, and people can get nervous. So creating that community vibe is really important, And also by by changing partners, as a teacher, you've got an instant opportunity for your students to repeat an activity, which goes back to my first point of reducing the number of language points that you try to cover. But yeah, by mixing the partners around, you can repeat activities, and it's still interesting, because if I ask the same questions to a different partner, I'm going to get different answers, different accent. And in adult classes, it might be, "Ooh, he's nice," or you get to meet people. All right, and the third and final thing that I've seen a lot of teachers do, which they don't need to be doing. Well, in this case, it's something that they do need to be doing that they're not doing, and that is very often, for example, in speaking activities, what a lot of good teachers don't do is give the listener, so the speaking partner, a reason to listen to their partner. Okay, it's a very obvious thing to say, okay, talk to your partner about what you did at the weekend, for example. But why should this bloke who doesn't know me from Adam pay any attention to what I did in my weekend? He only sees me once a week. He doesn't care. What he wants to do is improve his English. We've got to give him a reason to listen to me about my weekend. So a simple thing could be, in that situation, listen to your partner. Is there anything that you have in common with them that you did this weekend? Or another example, just thinking off the top of my head, listen to your partner and note down 3 adjectives that he used to describe his weekend. Whatever it is, that little task will make the difference between that activity dying on its feet after 30 seconds or a minute, depending on how talkative your students are, or having legs and that activity producing lots of nice speaking and listening practice. And then, of course, you've got the opportunity to extend. So, okay, what are your 3 adjectives? Find a new partner or new groups, share those adjectives. Let's make a list of those on the board. More value. Okay, so students getting more value for money. You're getting more mileage from your planning, saving energy, and let's just say you work for yourself. Okay, the more value that you offer, the higher the amount that you can charge for your classes. Okay, and the more students you're going to get coming back to you. That's it. So I hope you found that valuable. Let me know, are you guilty of doing some of those things? Which ones? Tell me in the comments. What would be the impact on forestation around the world if you prepared less photocopies for your classes? Tell me in the comments. Yeah, and if you want help developing your teaching, then feel free, check out my courses on englishforpositivechange.com. There's some links to get some free taster packs in the description below. That's it. I hope that helps you to save some energy in your teaching going forward. Namaste. Don't know why I did that. Bye.